to Virginia's news leader. WVVA News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I am Martin Staunton. Ben Schwartz is off this evening. Welcome to WVVA News at 6. It's a special post-Helene storm coverage. That storm plunged hundreds of thousands of customers in the dark on Friday, and the sun will set today on the fourth day, with some people still struggling without their power. We want to thank our viewers for their patience, as our lights didn't come back on until late this afternoon, and some of our systems are still not back online yet. So bear with us as we work to share video. Our reporters and photojournalists have been gathering that video over the last 3 days. Top of mind right now, though, the power outage. American Electric Power reports that they've got people hard at work to restore the electricity. Remnants of Helene hit their service area in the two Virginias like a sledgehammer. The utility reports that 282,000 people were out of power at the height of the storm damage on Friday. That's when 1,000 workers began their efforts to deal with the damage. Here's a report from the latest AEP sent in to us about a half an hour ago. Right now, they've got 5,000 line workers, foresters, assessors, operations personnel, all working to restore the electricity to Appalachian Power customers. Hurricane Helene's intense winds and the driving rains have shoved trees, utility poles, and wires to the ground. You're currently looking at their outage map. As of 5 p.m. today, AEP reports that they've whittled the number down to 110 customers remaining without electrical service this evening. Here's the timeline for restoration. Monday, September 30th by 11 p.m. Most customers here in West Virginia, the hardest areas will see their restoration go on until Tuesday at October 1st. Monday, September 30th, 11 p.m. for the areas out in Virginia like Christiansburg, Fieldale, Stewart, Pulaski, Rocky Mount. October 1st through the 4 p.m. hour for the Roanoke area. Now for Beckley, over in Raleigh County, Hyco in Fayette County, Pineville in Wyoming County, Welch down in McDowell County, they are looking at the time of 8 p.m. for theirs, and that's going to be Tuesday. Now for Kingsport, Tennessee, and other areas outside of our area, that time is going to be a lot later. Now for Lebanon, Floyd, Tazewell, Woodlawn, with Virginia, that power will be restored around Tuesday as well. Most customers without service will have their power restored before the above estimates, according to AEP. And again, they are working hard to get to that. So now let's talk about the flooding that has hit the area. It has been intense and devastating. We haven't seen anything like this in decades, maybe centuries. But let's go to our weather expert. This is a look at the video out of Narrows. You know, when you cross that bridge right there into Narrows, this is that RV park. Look at the damage to those RVs, and some of these aren't just vacation homes. Those are permanent homes. People live there. That river is still running high, but it crested on Saturday. Let's go right to our weather authority. Wow, I haven't seen this video before, so bear with me. We're going right to Chief Meteorologist Catherine Thompson, who brings us the very latest on our weather situation and a first look at the forecast.
Hey there, Martin. That's right. Still just unbelievable when you look at the scale of the damage from Hurricane Helene and the remnants that are still sticking with us at this hour. Luckily, we haven't seen the caliber of devastation that they have down to our south and western North Carolina, for instance, but we did have our fair share of flooding issues over the past few days. Luckily now, no new flooding to report at this moment. All of those rivers have fallen below flood stage, but we're still getting rain. We'll still have to watch for these isolated heavier downpours that pop up at times. At the very least, you're going to have some ponding on the roads from time to time as these downpours just continue to pop up here and there through sundown. After that, though, the chance of rain will kind of taper tonight. And again, we haven't seen anything that serious since Helene's remnants really got going through our area earlier last week. Now, there is one flood watch in effect for one of our counties in the WVVA viewing area. That is Pocahontas County. That running until 12 o'clock midnight tonight. They had a bit more rain yesterday and today than some other places, but still So far, so good. Otherwise, we're in the 60s. We've been in the low 70s, just cloudy today. Overnight, we eventually dip into the 50s. And we'll see a few more showers overnight, some areas of fog, but generally, again, the chance of rain dips a bit overnight tonight. Now, tomorrow, most of us in the 60s and 70s, the chance of rain going down through the day. I'm going to break down that full forecast and talk more about the rest of the week in just a tad. Martin.
All right, thank you very much for that, Catherine. Now we're going to turn to the fatalities. Helene is officially a killer, and we're talking triple digits nationally. 116 people confirmed dead. Reports are at this hour that as many as 600 people still unaccounted for after this storm. And on the fatalities, one of those have happened in our area. Our Clayton McChesney has been covering that, and he brings us more. So Clayton, when and how did this happen?
Well, Tazewell County Sheriff's Department Sheriff Brian Hyatt tells us that this happened on Friday in the late afternoon. A man 71 years old, a resident of North Tazewell, was driving home when he encountered a tree that had fallen in the middle of the road, blocking part of the traffic. After driving around it, he came back to the tree to try to clear this path for other motorists. Unfortunately, this did result in another tree falling on him. This is because of the water-soaked ground that had been made soft, and also because of the high winds from the storm. While Sheriff Hyatt did commend him for trying to help his community, he says not to attempt to be out in a storm like this and instead stay home.
All right, thank you. And that was some of just the generic flood damage that we were seeing there. This wasn't the actual place where this poor man lost his life. Thank you. That's our Clayton McChesney reporting on that fatality in our area. Again, let's go back and take a look at some of that video. Just amazing to see the power of Mother Nature as she rained down across the area and knocking trees down. And the trees are what cause a lot of the issues. So you have to think, for the power company to restore electricity, they've got those high transmission power lines. So those were affected by down trees. But there's more than 2,000 individual homes and residences and businesses that had trees fall across lines just like you saw there. And the community is really rallying to try to help some folks. Our Robert Castillo has covered some of this flooding in the area. And Robert, tell us what you've seen and where were you today?
Well, first I made a stop in Narrows, Virginia. Maybe we could take some of that flood video back up just to show you the magnitude of it, or we can kind of maybe pivot. But Narrows was hit right there. There's that video. That was when it crested on Saturday.
Wow.
I think we have drone video of that too, obviously. I was able to drive under that bridge today. It wasn't flooded today, obviously. But
is that in Narrows?
That is in, before you get into Narrows, technically. And this is the Gentry's landing area right here. It was kind of crazy. I was telling Jess, our photographer, I was able to walk in there today, but that was on Saturday when it was flooded. It's kind of unreal to think about. One of those other hard-hit areas is Bluefield, West Virginia, and Virginia, of course.
And was that right? Some people live there. That's not a vacation.
Yeah, I do
Some
believe
people
so,
live
yeah.
there.
There were some people there cleaning up today. The cleanup efforts, I assume, is going to take, quite a while. There's stuff flipped over, upside down, that sort of thing. It's quite a mess, but...
All right. Thank you. That's our Robert Castillo reporting on some of the flood damage. Good work there, Robert. We will be back with more on what the community is doing. And we've got a special guest in studio with information about meals for those people who are still dealing with the remnants and what's left behind after Hurricane Helene.